Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the English Hustle podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Maria. We're so glad you could join us today.
Today, we have a fascinating topic lined up for you. We're going to dive into how traveling can significantly impact your language skills.
That's right. We'll discuss the benefits of language immersion, the real-life practice opportunities you get while traveling, and how cultural understanding can enhance your language learning journey.
Before we get into that, let me share a bit about my own experience. A few years ago, I traveled to Spain for a couple of months. I had studied Spanish in school, but living there, interacting with locals daily, and immersing myself in the culture truly transformed my language skills. I went from hesitant conversations to confidently chatting with locals about everything from food to politics.
And for me, my trip to Japan was a game changer. Even though I was familiar with some basic Japanese phrases, being there pushed me to learn so much more. Navigating the trains, ordering food, and making new friends forced me to practice and improve my Japanese every single day. It was challenging, but incredibly rewarding.
Segment 2. The benefits of immersion. Number 1. Definition of language. Immersion. So, what exactly is language immersion? Essentially, it's when you're surrounded by the language you're trying to learn in your everyday life. This means you're hearing, speaking, and reading the language in real-world contexts all the time.
Right. It's like being thrown into the deep end, but in a good way. Instead of just learning from books or in a classroom, you're actively using the language in a variety of situations.
Number 2. Benefits of immersion. One of the key benefits of immersion is faster learning. When you're constantly exposed to the language, you pick up new words and phrases much more quickly than through traditional study methods.
Another significant advantage is improved pronunciation. By hearing native speakers and practicing in real conversations, you develop a more authentic accent and better intonation.
And let's not forget cultural understanding. Immersion isn't just about language, it's also about learning the customs, traditions, and social norms of the place you're in. This deeper cultural insight can make your language use more natural and appropriate.
Exactly. Plus, immersion can boost your confidence. When you successfully navigate everyday situations in a new language, it reinforces your learning and gives you a sense of accomplishment.
Segment 3. Real-life practice. Number 1. Daily interactions. One of the most valuable aspects of traveling is the opportunity to practice language skills in real-life situations. Whether you're ordering food at a local restaurant, asking for directions on the street, or shopping at a market, you're constantly using and refining your language abilities.
Exactly. These daily interactions force you to think on your feet and use the language in practical contexts. It helps you become more comfortable and spontaneous in your speech.
Think about how often you might need to communicate in simple exchanges. Ordering a coffee, buying a train ticket, or even making small talk with a shopkeeper can provide quick, repetitive practice that reinforces what you've learned. Number 2. Listening skills. Traveling also massively benefits your listening skills. Being surrounded by native speakers means you're exposed to the language as it's naturally spoken, with all its nuances, accents, and dialects.
Yes, And this exposure is crucial for understanding different ways people express the same ideas. It trains your ear to pick up on various pronunciations and speeds of speech, which can be challenging in a classroom setting.
You also get to experience the rhythm and intonation of the language in a way that recordings and classroom lessons might not fully capture. Listening to conversations, announcements, or even just the background chatter in public places can be incredibly beneficial. Number 3, speaking practice. One of the best parts of traveling is that it gives you countless opportunities to speak the language regularly. Every conversation is a chance to practice and improve.
And the immediate feedback from native speakers is invaluable. They can correct your mistakes, teach you new phrases, and help you sound more natural. It's a real-time learning experience that you just can't get from textbooks.
Engaging in conversations, even short ones, helps build confidence. Overcoming the initial fear of making mistakes and realizing that most people are patient and encouraging can be a huge boost to your language learning journey.
Additionally, practicing speaking in different contexts, whether formal or informal, helps you adapt your language use to various situations. It's a skill that's crucial for achieving fluency and comfort in a new language.
Segment 4. Cultural understanding. Number 1. Cultural context. When learning a language, understanding the cultural context is just as important as mastering grammar and vocabulary. Idioms, slang, and even body language can vary significantly from one culture to another.
Absolutely. For instance, some expressions might not make sense if translated directly. Knowing the cultural background helps you understand and use these phrases correctly.
And it's not just about words. Body language, gestures, and even the way people use space in conversation can differ. These cultural nuances can greatly affect communication.
In my travels, I've noticed how certain gestures can mean completely different things in different cultures. Understanding these differences prevents miscommunication and helps you blend in better.
Number 2. Cultural exchange. Engaging with locals is a fantastic way to gain deeper insights into their culture. When you travel, you're not just a tourist, you're a learner.
Yes, and these interactions often lead to cultural exchange. Locals can share their traditions, customs, and ways of life, which enriches your understanding and appreciation of the language.
For example, participating in local festivals, attending community events, or simply sharing a meal with a family can provide a rich context that textbooks can't offer.
I remember attending a local wedding in Spain. Not only did I learn a lot about Spanish culture, but I also picked up many colloquial expressions and cultural references that you wouldn't find in a classroom.
Number 3. Building relationships. Forming relationships with native speakers can be incredibly motivating for language learning. When you build friendships, you have a personal stake in mastering the language.
That's right. These relationships provide regular practice opportunities and encourage you to push through challenges. Friends can also introduce you to new vocabulary and expressions you might not encounter otherwise.
Moreover, having someone to share your progress with can be encouraging. They can celebrate your achievements and help you through difficult aspects of the language.
In my experience, my local friends would correct my mistakes gently and explain the nuances of certain expressions, which was incredibly helpful.
Number 4. Cultural immersion activities. Immersing yourself in the local culture through activities like cooking classes, dance lessons, or art workshops can also enhance your language skills.
Absolutely. These activities not only teach you new vocabulary related to the activity, but also provide a fun and engaging way to practice speaking and listening.
For instance, taking a cooking class in Italy not only improved my Italian food-related vocabulary, but also gave me a deeper appreciation for Italian culture.
And it's a great way to meet people and practice your language skills in a natural setting. Plus, it's a lot of fun.
Number 5. Understanding local media. Another aspect is consuming local media, like watching movies, listening to music, or reading newspapers in the target language.
Yes, this can greatly improve your listening skills and help you understand cultural references and current events.
I found that listening to local radio stations or podcasts helped me get used to the natural pace and accent of native speakers.
And reading local news helped me learn about societal issues and cultural norms, which made my conversations with locals more meaningful.
Segment 5. Overcoming challenges. Number 1. Language barriers. Traveling to a new country often comes with the challenge of language barriers. It can be intimidating to navigate conversations when you're not fluent.
Absolutely. One effective strategy is to learn key phrases and essential vocabulary before your trip. This preparation can help you manage everyday situations and feel more confident.
Also, don't hesitate to use translation apps or carry a phrase book. They can be lifesavers in situations where you need quick translations.
Another tip is to use visual aids. Pointing at items or showing pictures can help bridge communication gaps when words fail.
And remember, it's okay to ask for help. Most people appreciate the effort you're making to speak their language and will be more than willing to assist you. Number 2, building confidence. Building confidence in speaking a new language, especially in a foreign country, can be challenging. One strategy is to start with low-pressure environments, like ordering food or asking for directions.
Yes, and try to focus on communication rather than perfection. Native speakers are often more interested in understanding you than in perfect grammar.
Another tip is to practice with friendly locals who are patient and encouraging. They can provide constructive feedback and help boost your confidence.
It's also helpful to keep a positive mindset. Remind yourself that making mistakes is part of the learning process. Each mistake is an opportunity to improve.
Number 3, adapting to new environments. Adapting to new environments is crucial for effective language learning. Embrace the local culture and be open to different ways of doing things.
One way to adapt is to immerse yourself in local activities, whether it's attending cultural events or participating in community gatherings. This helps you get used to the language and context.
Be flexible with your learning approach. Different environments might require you to adjust your strategies, such as focusing more on listening skills in a bustling city versus speaking skills in a smaller town.
And don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Engaging with the local community and practicing the language in real-life situations accelerates your learning process.
Number 5, handling misunderstandings. Misunderstandings are inevitable. When they happen, stay calm and try to clarify by rephrasing or asking for repetition.
Using gestures and body language can also help in situations where verbal communication breaks down. Visual cues often bridge the gap.
If you're really stuck, find a way to communicate through writing or drawing. Sometimes a quick sketch can make things clearer.
And remember, most people will be understanding and appreciate your effort to communicate. It's all part of the learning experience.
Segment 6. Travel tips for language learners. Number 1. Preparation. Preparation is key to making the most of your language learning experience while traveling. Start by learning basic phrases and greetings in the local language. This shows respect and can make interactions smoother.
Absolutely. It's also helpful to research cultural norms and etiquette. Understanding these can prevent misunderstandings and help you navigate social situations more effectively.
Consider making a list of common words and phrases that you might need daily. Practice these before you go so they're fresh in your mind when you arrive. Number 2. Engaging with locals.
One of the best ways to practice a new language is by engaging directly with locals. Staying in homestays or guest houses allows you to immerse yourself in the language and culture on a daily basis.
Participating in local events like festivals or community gatherings can provide rich language practice and cultural insights. It's a great way to interact with native speakers in a relaxed setting.
Joining language exchange meetups or conversation clubs can also be very beneficial. Many cities have groups where locals and travelers meet to practice languages together.
Don't shy away from striking up conversations with people you meet, whether they're shopkeepers, restaurant staff, or fellow travelers. Every interaction is a chance to practice. Number 3. Using technology.
Technology can be a great ally in your language learning journey. Apps like Duolingo, Babbel, or Memrise are fantastic for learning new vocabulary and practicing grammar.
Translation apps like Google Translate or iTranslate can help bridge communication gaps when you're struggling to find the right word. They're especially useful for quick translations and understanding signs.
Consider downloading offline dictionaries or language guides so you have access to essential information even without an internet connection.
Apps like HelloTalk and Tandem connect you with native speakers for language exchange, allowing you to practice in real time through text or voice messages. Number 4. Leveraging social media.
Social media platforms can also be useful for language learning. Follow local influencers, join groups related to the language, or engage in online forums.
This exposure to native content can help you get familiar with colloquial expressions and current slang, making your learning experience more relevant and engaging. Number 5. Documenting your progress.
Keep a travel diary or blog where you document new words and phrases you've learned. Reflecting on these entries can reinforce your learning.
You might also consider recording conversations or interactions, with permission, as a way to review and improve your language skills over time. Segment 7. Real-life examples and success stories. Number 1. Personal experiences. Traveling has been a transformative experience for me in terms of language learning. For instance, during a trip to Spain, I was immersed in the Spanish language and culture daily. From ordering food in Spanish to conversing with locals, these real-life interactions greatly improved my fluency and confidence.
I had a similar experience during my time in Japan. Staying with a host family provided me with constant opportunities to practice Japanese. It wasn't just about the language, but also about understanding the cultural nuances that come with it. These experiences were invaluable in helping me achieve a higher level of proficiency.
One memorable instance was when I participated in a local festival in Mexico. Engaging in conversations with native speakers in a lively, real-world setting helped me pick up local slang and expressions that I wouldn't have learned from textbooks. Number 2. Success stories.
A notable example is Benny Lewis, known for his blog Fluent in 3 months. Benny traveled extensively to immerse himself in different languages, and his immersive approach allowed him to achieve remarkable fluency in several languages in a short period.
Another inspiring story is that of Richard Simcott, who is recognized for his polyglot abilities. Richard credits his extensive travels and immersive experiences in various countries for his proficiency in over 30 languages. His dedication to learning through travel exemplifies how powerful immersion can be.
We also have the story of Tim Ferriss, who documented his language learning journey in his book, The 4-Hour Chef. Tim's approach involved short, intense immersion experiences that demonstrated how effective targeted travel can be for rapid language acquisition.
Lastly, consider the case of polyglot Luca Lampariello. Luca's travels and immersion experiences played a crucial role in his ability to speak over 10 languages. His story highlights how interacting with native speakers and being surrounded by the language contributes significantly to language learning success. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the English Hustle podcast and leave us a review.